to Main Character Coaching, the series. I'm a little nervous. This is our first time doing this. And when I first launched this, I just sent it out to my email list and then I promoted it for one day on my Instagram stories. And let me tell you, there's so many submissions into Main Character Coaching and we're working our way through by order of submission, but like I want to coach everyone. So if you submitted your application into Main Character Coaching, we're getting to you. But today I'm really excited because I'm bringing on a guest and she submitted questions. But I'm going to let this be like a natural coaching session. Like we're going to probably go back and forth. And I want her to just come from a place of like, here's what I need help with. And I've told you guys this before, like if you've watched any of my lives, like I do much better responding in real time rather than like coming prepared with a concept or something. So I've read her application and I'm really excited for her to come on. She just joined the room. So she just has to press like request to join. Again, this is my first time doing this. There she is. Okay. So I'm going to bring her up right now. Go live. My biggest fear is that my Wi-Fi is going to crash. So I accepted her invitation and let's see. Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited for this. I was just telling everyone who's watching, this is the first one that we're doing, so you are
Oh,
number
sweet.
one. Yeah,
Sweet.
and I'm a little nervous, but I'm really excited and I'm also excited to meet you face to face. I know you've been in a couple programs, but so excited to have you, Erin. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Tell everyone where you're from and what you do.
I am in Michigan. What do I do? That question is always one that it's like, fuck. Okay, so anyways, I'm helping women come home to themselves.
Love that.
I mean, if I could just simplify it in that way, it's for women who are outgrowing their old versions that are ready to reclaim their voice, their worth, and their truth.
Love that. That is very much important work that we need in our world. So thank you for doing that. Also, your kitchen is a vibe, super nice back there.
Thank you.
But okay, so tell us how long you've been coaching this in this realm, like in this topic.
Like 2 months.
Okay. And I know, and you said this in your application, but you just transitioned out of coaching fitness. Was that your brand? That was your brand before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And why, actually, let me back up. How long did you coach fitness? Like how long was that your thing?
So I started that back in 2018. And then that lasted a while and I kind of like stopped because of the whole imposter thing, got back into it. And the long story short of it is that I started my own journey in functional nutrition, but like functional health. I was being coached through that to get through some stuff. And I thought that's what I wanted to do. And I was stuck in this identity because that's just what everyone saw me as the healthy person, the fitness person. And it's no longer what I wanted to do because my heart and core background is in psychology, mental health, and all that stuff. So that's what I really want to do, and that's where my vibe really is.
Heck yeah, I'm obsessed with that. All right, cool. So now that everyone is like caught up to speed on basically like the gist of what you do, we could talk forever about like more of what you're leading and the mission that you want to build. I'm gonna pull up your questions here. And just so you know, like if you're like, that was my question, but like I have like a different question, that's totally okay. Like we can just, take this as it goes. But the first question you asked was, how do I speak to the women that I want in my community? Let me ask you this. How are you currently speaking to the women that you want to call in?
Well, I was using the you aspect of it all. I've kind of started changing it to more of a solution focused way of speaking, not really using my story. That's something that I know I need to start doing more of, but that's just not there yet because I think that's the part that I have trouble with because I'm very long-winded. What I want to say, I can't say it in a 200, word caption.
For sure. I get that. Very normal. Um, So when you say like all of what you just mentioned, you're talking content, correct? Like, are you just Instagram or are you anywhere else?
I got kicked off of Facebook, so I'm just Instagram and Substack.
Oh, so cool. Okay, so let's do like an Instagram focused little like debrief here. So you know that you are speaking at the women that you want to call in by basically calling out the problem that they have and inserting a solution. And there's nothing wrong with that type of content. Like it's actually needed. So I want you to feel confident and like that that's still going to be part of your strategy. If we take 20 steps backwards, the the stories that you can tell about yourself is going to be within multiple posts. So the fact that you have like this block going on of like I'm long-winded, so I'm just going to like not talk about it at all because I can't fit it into one post. I want you to embrace the fact that you're long-winded because that's actually a superpower that you have a lot to say. And so you can break that up into multiple posts and never run out of ideas. So let's start with one post idea and let's workshop that together. And I know exactly what I want it to be, so I'm going to ask you the question and we're going to create your post that you can leave here and immediately go create from here.
Okay.
I want to know why you transitioned from fitness to personal development and not why, but like what was the moment that you decided I got to transition out of this because this feels better? Like what was the specific point in time? Was there a day that you can remember sitting down and being like, yeah, this ain't cutting it for me anymore. It's not lighting me up. Was there someone who told you, I want to hear this from you? Was there a moment in time where you were like, I'm actually better at this over here? Like tell me and don't feel like you have to shorten it. Just tell me what comes to your heart.
That moment happened when I was actually at um, a live event in Dallas. And it was a moment where I had that choice of moving forward with the functional nutrition space. And I literally started crying because it just felt out of alignment. But like, again, that was the identity that I had. And I felt like if I didn't do that, I was like failing others and not myself. And so once I realized that my voice, my whole life I've been able to just talk to people. People are like, well, give me this advice. What do you think? That's just what I do. And that comes naturally. So when I sat there and had tears in my eyes because I wasn't going to go forward with it, I knew that's what I needed to do. And I came back home and I wrote about it and just all the things that in my life that have transpired from changing the mindset, going deep within, and I had to work through that in order to get to where I am now because it was more of a, I don't know, like it felt more like it aligned, is more authentic. It was more me. And doing that type of work has led me into going back to what I love. I used to have a podcast back in 2018. I'm actually started that on my Substack again and want to release another one. And it's just things that are just easy. I flow when I'm in that state with nutrition and health and fitness. Yeah, I can get you to lose weight, but it wasn't anything meaningful to me. And I remember thinking, if I write another fucking program for somebody that isn't going to follow it, I'm going to puke.
Yeah. Okay. So good. So this first post, and I literally as I'm listening to you, I'm like, there's 18 posts coming to my mind. So we're gonna give you all the juice here. But your first post is going to be now the visual of this can be whatever you want. It can be a reel where you like have a compilation of videos. It can be you walking down the street. It can be a static photo of you and you just go into the caption. It really doesn't matter. Don't overthink that part. The story that I want you to tell is going to live in the caption and it's going to sound like I was at a conference in Dallas and my it was like looking back now I can see that there was a fork in the road for me. I had two choices. I could continue down this path of functional therapy and keep doing what made sense on paper, or I could go this route where I was lit up from within, and no one can describe that feeling, but people are going to know what you're talking about when you're like, I was lit from within. It felt aligned, but it made no sense. And I had no prior experience where I was like making money from it. But for some reason, my heart was pulling me to this side of the road, and I went with it. And here's what I've learned is that I've actually had I pulled out journals when I got home of how many moments I've had in my life where I've used mindset, I've used the unspoken energies that you can't like tangibly see to change my life, period. And then you're going to say something like, so I'm closing the chapter on my fitness business. Um, and I'm so grateful for that chapter because it led me to where I am now. And what I'm about to do now is take my entire life's work. I didn't even know this. This is unintentional. I'm taking my entire life's work and I'm going to pour it into other people. And I am so excited. It keeps me up at night. I wake up so lit up over this topic and I'm just ready to go full force, period. That is a post. And so that
Okay.
is telling one story. Now, another story I thought of while you were telling this, a different post, is it would be very interesting for you to take one of these journals that you have, one of the journal entries, and take a snapshot of one journal entry where you talked about maybe you were in a dark time, maybe you were in a bright time, but you said that you wrote in your journals and it depicted like this mindset transformation. If you could take a snapshot of that and you could turn this into a carousel, you could turn this again, you could take a little video of it, it could be a reel, whatever you want to do, tell the story behind that journal entry. So
Um,
when you tell this story, you want to make sure that you are vulnerable enough and specific enough as to where you were at when you wrote this down. And the fact that writing out your emotions, being real with yourself and getting present with yourself was part of the healing process for you. And then where it led you. So, like, you're not just dumping on people and saying, I had this dark time or I had this struggle, I had this obstacle. You're saying,
mm,
I went through something that was challenging. Here's how I pulled myself out of it. And here's what my circumstance looked like because I was able to do that. So you're then a walking embodiment, you're walking proof of what you want to lead.
okay.
How does that feel?
I like that. That
Well,
it when you say it, it sounds so simple.
I know it's like I mean I do this every single day, so it feels like it's interesting because I can do it so much easier for other people than I can do it for myself. It's like one of those things where you just got to sit down and ask yourself like what's real and what do the women that I want to call in, what do they need to know about me to trust me? And that's the
Mm,
goal right now is like you are just building this brand. You're not starting over because you probably have a strong foundation from what you've done in the past, but you're pivoting and they need to get to know this side of you before you can say like here's your problem and here's your solution. You need to come from a place of like I've been there, I've done that, here's the specific situation, so that when it comes time for you to say here's your problem and here's your solution, they're listening and they believe you, they're bought in.
yeah. Yeah. And that's like the hardest thing because my mind is so set on the other part of it, just because I've already established that with other people with weight loss. So just getting that makes total sense.
Yeah. And you can do this, like you don't have to get so caught up in like past stories. You can talk about like current stories. Like, and also there's a story to be told around um your mindset practices around shifting your business. Like, what are you doing to feel good about that? And where do you feel weak about it? And just be completely transparent with people so that they witness you in real time on your journey. And it's like, at the same time, you're letting them know, like, I do have a new business, like, I do have this new venture. And when people can join the journey with you, they're invested.
Okay.
Yay. Okay. So that's fun. I can't wait to see those posts. Um, the next question you had is it too soon to launch a program? Is that still your question? I guess I should check.
Um, no, because I'm not even really on that level right now of trying to do that. I think right now I'm more so very conflicted with like getting, because I do write longer form, obviously on Substack. So it's like trying to integrate that to get people to come to Substack. Also, I guess the other question I have too is an email list because I want to have an email list. I have like a very small one from before, but I would like to start getting more leads on email because I do write longer forms.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna answer this question, even though you said it's not your question anymore, because you said I'm not ready for that, and I would argue that I think you are.
Okay.
So if I could go back in time in my business, actually, I didn't really approach it that way. But a lot of clients that I coach, especially when they're making a pivot or if they're just starting from scratch, they take this same approach of like, I just need to get in the habit and the flow of like telling my story, and then I'll launch a program when I'm ready. Now, that's okay. Like, you're not wrong for that, but you're going to quantum leap when you can in real, just calling me, sorry about that, when you can in real time bring people in and learn about yourself as a coach in this new aspect. So, what that would look like is while you're exposing yourself and you're sharing these stories, you kind of want to test your coaching abilities and test your ability to strengthen a community. So, you might do something like, I think you were in Carousel Camp. Were you part of that? Okay. So, that was that was a very similar launch to what I'm telling you about. So, I took this idea of carousel camp. I knew I wanted to lead women on creating carousels. So I created a 10-day Telegram challenge, and I gave everything I had to that space. Now I learned so much through that experience, but it was also low ticket. It was $55, and I brought a ton of women in, and I went above and beyond. Like, that should have been a $500 offer because I was very much giving individualized support in that container, but I didn't care. I was like, it's going to make me some money. Like, basically I put a price tag on it because I wanted the women who joined to have skin in the game. But I didn't look at that as like, I'm going to become a millionaire from this offer. I looked at that as I'm testing my ability to coach on carousels. I want to see how they respond. I want to see how much better I can refine this topic, and I want to see like just what the vibe is. Do I even enjoy coaching it? So you could do something like that where you create a 10-day space. It doesn't have to be a month. It can be short. And you charge low ticket and you bring people in and you decide what the transformation is going to be. And so when you decide that transformation, then you come to that space and you lead. So while you're posting your what I call origin content, that's the things we just discussed, and you're telling your story, you're also saying like, oh, by the way, I'm inviting you into this 10-day challenge or 10-day experience, whatever you want to call it, where we're going to journal for 10 days straight. That's going to be like the activity. And the transformation is you're going to learn where your mindset gap is. For example, I'm making this up. You're better at this than I am, but where your mindset gap is. And then I'm going to give you specific tools to, after the 10 days, work on your mindset, because the first thing that you need to do is become aware of where your mindset is weak. So we're going to do that through journaling. So it's like, again, I just riffed all of that. You make your own space, but you create this 10-day challenge. Let's say it's $30, like, again, whatever. And let's say you get 5 people in there at a minimum, and you just are like, holy crap, like, I love doing this. I'm good at it. People are responding to me, and you move from there. Like, you don't wait. So that's that piece of that. Now, while you're doing that, that would grow your email list, because whoever pays you is going to give you their email, and then they're in your email community from that point forward. On the contrary, there's plenty of things you can do to grow your email list. You can do it like a freebie. So you could do something where it's like you create a quick voice memo of, and I don't know what your jam is, but just to stick in the realm of like personal development, mindset, and like depth, maybe it's like a quick meditation and they get it for free. In return, they send you their email address. So does that make sense how that
Yeah.
works?
Yeah.
So that's something you could do, but again, you're going to have to promote that for people to know that they want it. So I don't know anything about Substack, just being totally honest, but it might look like at the end of your Substack post, and I think you can like tweet in there, right? Is that like
You can you can repost
okay.
notes and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know anything about it. But somewhere in the Substack post, you could either drop a link or direct them like, here, if you enjoyed this, here's where you can get my free blah blah blah. And
Okay.
then repurpose that on your Instagram. I love to show up in my stories. That's where I do the most selling, even if it's a free thing. I will go into my stories and post a sequence, and I will say, like, I'll describe like why I created the thing I created, for example, and then I will describe who it's for, and then I'll describe what the transformation is, and then I drop the link and I say, get it here.
Okay. Easy enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and just have fun with it. Like people are going to buy, even like whether it's free or not, people are going to buy what you sell. And if you're not selling, then they have no idea that your doors are open. So it's like just have fun promoting the heck out of your magic and enjoy the fact that this is why I love this industry. It's like you get to learn so much along the way. And if you're in action, learning in real time, like what do I like to coach? That's the most important. What do I enjoy? How do people respond to me? And then paying attention to like, what do people need? Like, what is the need here? And where can I fill that gap in my next offer? And then you just keep going,
Yeah.
keep going. And it turns into this, you've built this world of yours where it's like so fun for you.
Yeah. I think the part that gets me hung up, and you kind of clarify it for me a little bit, is like, what do they need? Like, I sit down, I think about like, what do they need? And then I'm like, I don't know what they need. And I think
Yeah.
about what I need it. And then I feel like, well, do they need, you know, it's like I get in my head. It's that
Yeah.
whole ego thing. So,
Yeah, and you, I mean, call it ego or call it like you just care. Like you want to make sure that what you collect money for or what you take people's time and energy for, you want to make sure that you give them and you what they want and what they need, and you want to make sure you deliver. That doesn't make you like an egomaniac. That makes you someone who cares, but you'll never know what they need until you start talking to them. And so that's another
right.
thing you could do is you could pick a couple people in your circle and you could say, can I have 5 minutes of your time where I ask you a couple questions? And this is what they call market research. And you just
Right.
ask questions like, when it comes to personal development, what are you avoiding that you know you should be doing? And they might say like journaling. They might say reading a book. So let's take those two things. You fill the gap with leading a challenge of journaling. You fill the gap with creating a quick book club, and you pick a book and you do fun activities on that book. So it's honestly like just a matter of, again, you can sit back all day and question like what did I need? And again, that is a great place to start. Like I'm glad you said that. That's like super smart when you can think to yourself like, well, what did I need? But sometimes it's so hard for us to go back in time and
Yeah.
remember. Like really tough. You're so far removed from that now. Um and what you need right now is most likely not what your people need. So it's again, that can be really tough, but the market research piece can help a lot.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
Yeah. So after everything, I feel like I just blasted you with words.
Yeah.
What is your first action that you're going to take? What are you going to go do? What are you excited about after everything that we just talked about?
Well, I'm excited to start creating my origin, as you call it, the origin story for myself, to start posting that out, and then creating an offer. I mean, because that excites me. Like I want to create an offer. I want to have some type of retainer for women and start building that. So I think that's probably going to be my first line of action, whether it succeeds or fails. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. Failure is part of the journey. It's
Yeah.
got to go through it. I realized I was reading here that you wanted to create a movement of 10,000 women, which is so cool. I believe that you are going to do that 100%. And just remember, like we all start at zero, and the quickest way to getting to 10,000 is getting your first person. So that's your go create something, get one person in, stay on mission of blowing their mind, and along the way, like before you know it, you'll wake up and there'll be 10,000 people. If you stay on mission of like, I'm here to make change. Like I'm here to remind people, women, I'm here to remind women who the F they are. And that was always my mission. I just didn't know it. It's clear to me now. And you strengthen that over time. And you're going to wake up one day and there'll be 10,000 people in your world.
Quoting you on that.
Yeah. I'll be the first person to be like, I knew it. um,
Oh, all
all right.
right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I got some stuff written down, so I'm gonna, that's my step, first
Cool.
steps.
I'm excited for you, and don't be a stranger. Keep in touch. And thanks for being my first main character here. And yeah, we will talk soon.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.